to the Tim Black at Night Show, Freedom Friday. The show is brought to you by none other than JustInformed.com in combination with TimBlackTV.com. JustInformed.com is a social media website where we respect your privacy. We never sell your data. We don't shadow ban. And we never throw you off the site just because you're thinking independently. Go to JustInformed.com, become a member, and tell them that Tim Black sent you today. Go to JustInformed.com, become a member of a site that does not shadow ban. Ever. We don't sell your data. Ever. We don't censor. Ever. Yeah. Hey. What up, people? I'm ready to go. You guys ready to go? Hey, people, how you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black at Night Show for Freedom Friday. Give it up for everybody in the house tonight. We are in the house, and there we are. We are connecting now. We're connecting up with our people out there on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Periscope. Man, glad you guys could come through. Good to see you. We got people already on the phone lines. Thank you guys for being here on the phone lines. And yes, we're ready to rock and roll. You know, tonight is Freedom Friday. Freedom Friday is where you go, Roseanne Motorama, David Higley, Helen Ford and Carla, and the whole crew. This is where you go. Right, Freedom Friday is where you go if you want to call into a show on a Friday night that lets you talk, let you speak your mind, all right? And I'm going to put this phone up on the screen, 319-527-6212, 319-527-6212. I see a couple people out there already. And tonight, guys, I made the title of this, and I think some of you guys are going to relate to this, right? Because I use a controversial quote as the title of the Tonight Show, right? It's called, The People Get the Government They Deserve. The people get the government they deserve. So, like, I got interested in this quote, and I was, like, trying to figure out exactly what does this mean? How does this apply to you and I? And as I looked it up, I found out, right, what I started to see was like these different ideas of what this particular quote means, guys. I'll tell you this much. It's not very simple and cut and dry like a lot of people have chimed in on this. Even when you go look up this statement, the people get the government they deserve, you're going to come up with different variations of it. In a democracy, the people get the government they deserve. That was attributed to an Alexis de Tocqueville. All right? There's a few of these, right? Number 2 is, if the citizenry do not hold their officials to standards, then any government gets out of hand. So the question goes beyond taxation and becomes, how can we ever have a sound government? And the answer is by a principled populace. As has been said by Jefferson and Tocqueville. people get the government that they deserve. So I think this is an important statement. I think it's a reality as well. So basically, if we don't like the government we have, we don't like the people that we have. Because we, the people, have created this government. It may be the worst of us, but it's still of us. It's not like aliens are coming in and, from the planet Futanda, and came in and took over, right? No, this government is built of the people that are in this country. And they are brought up with the values of the people of the country. And the people of the country allow the government to operate in the way that it operates. If not, you get yourself a what? Revolution. That's where revolutions come from, right? So as I was reading this, I was wondering, guys, is it that we're not bold enough to say we want a revolution? Is that why things suck? Are we the real problem? I'm serious. Are we the real problem? Now, look, I'm not trying to get super deep with you about this, but people are kind of bad. Yeah, like dogs. We just got a new puppy, right? We got him from a shelter. Shout out to the shelter dogs. Hey. And I thought I wasn't going to be able to keep my puppy because they wanted us to pay a lot of money for that dog. We had to come up in installment payments to keep the puppy. Family that fell in love with him. But yeah, being independent media don't pay well, man. You barely keep your dog. So the point is this. We allow ourselves to be governed the way we're governed, and isn't that our fault? Like, we allow a lot of shit we shouldn't allow as people. We let these things go on. We are enablers of our own plight. Like, we allow this. Like, if we really didn't want our police to shoot and kill black people in the street, we wouldn't let them. If we think that the media is lying about that or lying about anything else, like to try to separate us, because I know there's always people who think that, well, wouldn't we get rid of them? I mean, wouldn't we get rid of them? Like, we keep the shit we don't like. We have to do stuff to keep it. That's what I think, unless a lot of these entities really suck. And they're so well funded that it doesn't matter if the market rejects them. The fact that there are big-pocketed, big, deep wallet, old bastards running around with the money to make it so an entity that's no longer viable can stay viable and still be able to survive even without the public supporting it anymore. Like, come on, look at the ratings of MSNBC or CNN, for instance. Those ratings suck so bad. If you had a channel that sucked as bad as CNN in the ratings department, they'd probably get rid of you. But they get to stick around because they got deep pockets. The market would have already cleared you out a long time ago. You'd be gone. There'd be no more whatever your business is. If your business sucked as bad as CNN's numbers have been sucking for about 5, 6, 7 years, you'd be out of here. But they don't get to go anywhere because they got big pockets. Yeah? Look at this. Right now, independent media will be destroying CNN, MSNBC, and rivaling Fox, and maybe even beating Fox. So what Google had to do was give the dinosaur media first pick and first awareness on its own platform, just so that they could stay viable, because we were owning this. So as much as I want to say, yes, I agree with this quote, that we get the government that we deserve, I also think There are ways that you get things you don't want, things you would that would naturally go away because they're no longer wanted or needed, or people don't appreciate it, don't want it, they won't buy it, it won't survive. It'd be out of there, but it stays because we got people with deep pockets who have ways of gaming the system so that even if we reject it as people, it stays around because of the big money interest. So I love this statement, right? I love the quote that they have. I love it. You get the government that you deserve. The people get what they deserve. You get what you deserve. You get what you put in. And that works in a lot of things. If you work out, you will lose weight. If you stop smoking, you should have clearer lungs. If you water a plant, all things being equal, the seed will sprout and the thing will grow, right? Something happens. You give it sun, something's going to grow. I mean, there's things that are natural. But when it comes to people, and it comes to a society where you could have the worst of man have power, it can control the natural order of things. That's what I believe. So anyway, guys, so the natural order of things has led us to where we are today. It's led us to journalists being killed, probably by Saudi's hands. And I look at that story and I wonder, like, wow, I wonder if that's true, because we're always protecting Saudi Arabia, aren't we? Like, what's going on that we would no longer, like, if that's the case, can I believe it or can I not believe it? You know, can I trust the news that's coming out about that? Because they're always manipulating us in one way or another, right? So I don't know. We're gonna have to I'm gonna have to look further into it. My point is, guys, and I don't mean to be doom and gloom, but if we get the government we deserve, shouldn't we have more control over our government? If we get the media we deserve, shouldn't we have more control over our media? If we get the social media we deserve, shouldn't we have more control over our social media? So this statement may have been true, I don't know, back in Roman times, the Gilded Age. I don't think they're true now. I think the people can get what they don't deserve. I think the people can be mind controlled and mind screwed and manipulated and brutalized and just plain bamboozled to a degree. It ain't even about what we want anymore. It's about what they want. How do we break free of that? Well, I think the first step to it is waking up and realizing that you're no longer in control. And then you start crafting a strategy. Stop thinking because you can go buy a cheeseburger at 2 a.m. that means your ass is free. And stop thinking because you can get a bigger cheeseburger than somebody else that you're somehow better than them. When in fact, actuality, you don't know what's up with that cheeseburger, what's inside that cheeseburger, and a lot of the means that it took to make that cheeseburger are what's killing you and killing your friends and killing your neighbors. So we need to wake up to reality and stop just being on the treadmill next to the hamsters. I mean, it's one thing if you're a hamster. Hamsters don't know that they're running in place. If we're thinking people, at some point you got to be like, I'm going to get off that treadmill. So look, guys, I appreciate you for being here tonight. I really do. I don't know, man. This is like, I know it's deep, it's weird, it's deep. It's like, this ain't Freedom Friday. Well, it is in a way, it's Freedom Friday, you know. I just think, you know, that statement just grabbed me, man, and I just think we deserve better, man. I'm not content with saying we suck and it's because we suck. Maybe we do suck because we suck, but maybe we had a lot of help. Maybe we don't just suck as a people, as a country, because we sucky people. Maybe some people want us to be bad off. Maybe some people benefit from us being bad off. Maybe that's what we got. That's where I'm at, y'all. That's where I'm at with it. Let me look at my chat room, see what's happening, man. Anybody understand at all what I'm saying? Like, am I making any sense at all? I don't know, guys. Yep. Oh, is it going to load up? I have no idea if this is going to load up, guys. This thing is horrific. Yeah, thank you, Deborah. Deborah says we're not really in control. We're not really in control. We're not really in control of the means, so we don't necessarily have a choice. I know, and that's sad, isn't it? But I think that's true. Thank you, Deborah. Deborah said that. Thank you, Deborah. Carla says you make good sense. Thank you, Carla. I appreciate that. I'm trying. Fernando says you got it, Tim. Patricia says, anybody else happy that Hillary... Uli says many have been corrupted, but many are waking up. Yeah. You know, I'm hoping that we're waking up, man. I really do. I mean, I was really disappointed. And I guess I need to just wake up to reality that there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of anger and pent-up hostility, and people are really frustrated, man. And the toll, I think I was more upset that people wanted to hear more about Kanye than I was willing to give, and then they wanted me to beat up on the guy. I've already said my piece so many times. I'm just tired of talking about the guy. But then I realized that people are really, like, maybe I'm not being totally compassionate in a way. Now hear me out. People are really frustrated. People are really tired. People are really like at their wits' end with all of this crap. I mean, every moment is some new BS. It's Kavanaugh, it's Puerto Rico, it's Kanye and Trump, it's this investigation over here, that one over there, and it's like it's never ending, is what I'm saying. It's just never ending, and people just want to just run out. I'm surprised everybody ain't just running outside the house yelling, you know, just yelling, ah, you know. Just freaking out and losing it. I mean, because it's a lot for people to take. So sometimes the release valve is to let loose on somebody who pisses you off. And it could be somebody you'll never meet, like you'll never meet Kanye probably. And you get the release valve. Let it all out on Kanye. But my thing is, after that, we're still where we are. We're still where we are. People want to pin their hopes on anything too. Like there are people pinning hopes on a conversation a rapper, a 40-year-old rapper had with the most powerful man in the world, as if that's going to solve something. When he's got a staff of people and there's like groups and offices and that employ groups of professionals and investors and professors and statisticians and, you know, like all these people that are in these disciplines that he has at his beck and call. They're like, well, Kanye wouldn't talk to him. At least Kanye's looking. I'm like, God, do you realize we're talking about the most powerful? We're not talking about the guy that owned a barbershop down the street having a conversation with a rapper about what he should do with haircuts. We're talking about the most powerful man in the country with agencies under him. And you're going, well, Kanye talked to Trump. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Do you hear yourself? And you make that make sense? And I'm like, that don't make sense, man. You've been in this too long. If you think that makes sense, that a president would need that at all. Now, maybe you could sell it to me if Trump was a career politician who's never like lived around regular people, never, like he's always been in politics for 30, 40 years, and he's so out of touch with black people or people like in general that he's like been in a bubble. But if you're Donald Trump, isn't that why y'all elected him? Because he wasn't a politician who lived in a bubble? Wasn't that part of it? Isn't that like the thing? And I'm like, so why would he? He could talk to a guy he met last year for the first time as if, like, I don't get it, man. And it's not just about that. It's like the people going to war over it. So I look at that, I was like, wow, man, like we really are, we really got it bad. That's all I'm saying. People got it bad. They got it bad, man. People are so upset. There are people so upset, and I get why a lot of people are upset. They're upset, man, because this is upsetting times, man. People keep talking about how great our economy is. They don't even know why. Why is the economy great? Corporations been buying back their stock, dumbass. Got nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. They buying back stock options, which increases the value of the company. Artificially. Has nothing to do with you. But some Republican dude said the economy's great. And you go, yeah. Nothing to do with you. Nothing. But you heard someone say it, so you believed it. And now that's all I get to hear. And I got people popping up and going, yeah, but he fixed this. He's doing this. This is great. This is great. This is all these things are happening. You dumb Tim Black, and he's doing all this stuff. Now, what I am going to look at closer to is this thing about pharmaceuticals, because I'm really focused on the Medicare for All. I'm really focused on things that help with pharmaceuticals. So in real time, guys, because I didn't want to miss this, right? Someone like left a comment, because not all my comments are bad, y'all. I get some good comments, okay? I get some great comments, right? So whether I get pissed off at them or not, you got to keep those coming, because for every bad one, I get a couple good ones. Sometimes I get some ridiculous ones, but sometimes I get some good ones. So someone said, Tim Black, yo, Tim, Donald Trump did this thing that's amazing, Tim Black. And it says Trump, pharmaceutical? Okay. So Trump signs, so let's take a look at this. And I'm gonna put this on the screen, guys, just so that we all see it. Because like I said, people have been telling me that I need to look into it. They talk as if maybe if it's a good thing, I won't share it because it's Trump. Like I don't even know what that's about. Why would you say some stupid shit like that? I don't understand. Maybe they confuse me with David Pakman or Sam Nieder or somebody. I don't know who you think I am. Like, I just want us to win as people. Not Trump win, us win. Right? So, like, if it's a win for the people, I support it. So let me check this out. Here we go, guys. This is what came up, right? Trump signs a bill lifting pharmacists' gag clauses on drug prices. What does that mean? Does that mean anything to me? Should it mean anything to you? Let's find out, Tim Black, together. All right. So, NBC News reported last year on the agreements between pharmacies and insurance companies that they kept some pharmacists from disclosing cheaper drug options to consumers. So now, my God, man. Okay, so President Trump signed 2 bills at the White House on Wednesday aimed at lowering pharmaceutical drug prices by promoting greater disclosure in drug pricing. Give it up for that. Sounds good. That sounds good. The 2 bills have the President signed, the Know the Lowest Price Act and the Patient's Right to Know. Okay. Know the Lowest Price Act and the Patient's Right to Know Drug Prices Act are meant to prevent gag clauses and agreements between the pharmacies and pharmacy benefit managers, the middlemen who administer prescription drug programs for insurance companies, which pharmacists say keep them from disclosing cheaper drug options to consumers. So let's see if we can get away with playing this for a second. Hopefully it doesn't have an ad. It does. shit. Okay. Well, I can't hang around for it. So, wow. Get out of here. Get the hell out of here. All right, guys.
In small-town Magnolia, Texas.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing? Steve Hoffert loves to talk to his Houston area customers. But there are some things this neighborhood pharmacist says he can't say.
How hard is it to keep your mouth shut when you see somebody?
Things this neighborhood pharmacist says he can't say.
How hard is it to keep your mouth shut when you see somebody overpay?
A patient spend more than what they really should be.
How does this happen? Take the cholesterol drug simvastatin. The patient's copay is $42.60. Hoffert's price for a patient paying without insurance, $18.59. A $24 difference he says he can't divulge because of the gag clause.
Oh,
so
shit.
just to be clear, there are instances where you cannot tell the patient there's a cheaper alternative.
Yes. It's in the contract language saying that we are not allowed to divulge that information. It's proprietary and we cannot share it.
An NBC News investigation found it happens on a wide variety of generics on certain insurance plans. For a common antibiotic, it can be $18 more to use insurance than to pay out of pocket. An antidepressant drug, $25 more. And a whopping $117 difference for an allergy and asthma prevention drug. Why? Pharmacists and consumer lawsuits claim it's to hide something called a clawback, money pocketed by middlemen called pharmacy benefit managers, who negotiate the price your insurance company pays for a drug.
This is a list of prescriptions that I filled this year that included a clawback, a little bit over 1,000 prescriptions.
Wow. So in some instances, it's actually better to pay cash than use your insurance?
Yes, it would be. It would definitely be better to pay cash versus using the insurance. Definitely would be better to pay cash versus using the insurance.
Now, some states are outlawing clawbacks and/or gag clauses.
Of the practice, to think that they could get away with something that was so obviously. What surprised me most was the brazenness of the practice, to think that they could get away with something that was so obviously price gouging.
Not all, but Cigna won't comment on the litigation, and United Healthcare says pharmacies should always charge our members the lowest amount under their benefit plans.
You're an independent pharmacist. What if you got blowback for speaking up for your customers?
Well, I would do anything within my own ability as a pharmacist to be vocal and active and saying we're doing what we should be doing, and that's taking care of patients.
God damn it, man. God damn it, man. This is so horrific, guys. Like, all right. So, wow. All right. So when people point to this, now I know. Okay, we're up, we're running. Gosh, man, I don't even know what to say. That's so horrific. I had no idea they were doing that. You some dirty bastards. You hear me? Overcharging people. Pharmacists can't tell you. Gag clause. Look, man, I'm going to tell you that they have... So I'm glad that Trump signed these two acts. Know the Lowest Price Act and the Patient's Right to Know Drug Price Act. The fact that you even got to sign that. The fact that that is even a thing that you would have to come undo. All right, guys, I'm just going to go to, I don't know, people, I guess I talk for a living, so I should be able to communicate how I feel about this. This is so atrocious, so low down, dirty, funky, disgusting, devoid of character, slimy, scumbaggery. This is horrific. I've said a lot of times that drug dealing is a cleaner business than politics. Pharmaceutical business is dirtier than politics. I mean, That's one of the dirtiest things I've ever heard. Corporations, by and large, have done a lot of dirty shit. They've let people die because their brakes were bad, because they figured they pay more money to the families of people killed driving their automobiles than they would have to pay to rebuild their image if it ever got out. So they figured we'd rather spend a couple $100,000 per person that died because of our faulty brakes than actually fix our brakes. That's a corporation. And then we got these people that tell you when you talk bad about corporations, you're a dirty socialist, you're a communist. Then who do you think came up with the gag clause? So back to what we kind of opened up with, I'll just say the mind screw has been perfected here because there are people, even when I say, hey, Trump, he signed these 2 acts which will help people pay less for their drugs. They hate him so much. Part him, but mostly the media, but part him too, because he was like, look, oh, I'm a racist? Oh, I'll show you racist. Oh, I'll show you. Oh, y'all gonna use that on me, Democrats? Oh, I'll show you that. Okay, I'm gonna use that then. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna bring out these. Come on, white supremacists. Come on, neo-Nazi guy. We're gonna use that. Oh, you think you go? Oh, you think dog whistle? I'm gonna blow the whistle in your face, Democrats. So I get what he did. What I don't like are the people who act like that's not what he did. He used it. He did a ninja move. He used the momentum of, you're racist. He used it against him. He took the wind out of it because he said, whatever you think is what you think. I'm just going to use it now since you called me that. We're going to get more votes. I don't like the people who won't admit that that's what he did. It's obvious. But he's been demonized to such an extent that even when he does good things like this seems like a good thing, I would like to see Chuck Todd spin it like it's a bad thing. Don, can you spin this one, Don Lemon? Are you going to spin this? Rachel, how will you spin it to make the gag clause, the lowest price act bad? I don't know. I'm a little bothered, right? The dead people think I wouldn't talk about that because they think I hate Trump so much. That don't have nothing to do with what I think about Trump. That's the news, yo. That's the news. No one sent me that story. I found this out in the comments section. I didn't know about this. I'll talk about it. So we get the government we deserve. We're going to get the media we deserve if y'all don't let me know stuff like this, because this needs to be talked about. And of course, there are people who say if you discuss Trump in any positive light, you're a sellout, you are a horrible individual, you're trying to get the Republicans elected. I really don't think Trump has anything to do with all of that shit. I think his re-election is in 2020. You worry about Trump in 2020. Right now, you need to be worried about winning your local elections. I don't think they're going to be won or lost based on Trump and the gag policy. I think they'll be won and lost based on your candidates and if you support them and if they have different ideas from the challengers or who they're challenging. So anyway, that's where I'm at on it, guys. I'm going to open up phone lines. We didn't have so much of a rant as we had a little conversation, I felt, and then we went into a story that I've been meaning to cover. So there that is. There it is. You know, you see the phone number, guys. If you got something you'd like to say, we'll go ahead and phone up 509. I'm going to go ahead to you and let you open up the phone calls. 509, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim, it's Zanga.
Hey, how you doing, Zanga?
I'm pretty good. How are you, Tim?
Good.
Zizi. Call me Zizi.
Hey.
Listen, there's something I've been wanting you to look into. because I just don't know what it's about, if anything. But there's this guy, Dane Wigington, and he has a YouTube series. It's called Geoengineering Watch. Well, his website is geoengineeringwatch.org. And apparently he's a climate scientist who believes that the climate is being manipulated. So I want you and Nico and Ron and Jimmy Dore and some of the people that I listen to talk about it, because I don't know enough about it to really understand it at all.
Oh, well, hey, well, thank you for the call, Susie. We appreciate you. I tell you, man, geoengineeringwatch.org. I don't know about him either, Susie. I don't know this guy. I don't know anything about him. First time I ever heard of him is you. He said the world is being, hold on one second. I'm trying to get, something's been going on with this, goddamn. Something's been going on with my comment section over here. It's like it keeps doing this, which is signing out, and I can't get the comments from YouTube. Anyway, back to you, Susie. All right, sis. Well, definitely. All right, there we go. Come on now. Come on, give us the comments, man. So some people in the comment section, Susie, are talking about it. It looks like some people know a little something about that subject that you're talking about. Maybe you can ask the community, because Tim Black's Wolfpack, we tend to stick together and share information pretty freely. That's one of the great things about having a community. So I'd start there, man. Like, start within our community and see if anybody knows anything. Because I'm seeing some comments right now I think are related to your question. Hey, 646, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Oh, hi, Tim. I'm Hyphen Gannon from Brooklyn, New York. How are you doing today?
I'm good, sir.
That's good to know. Well, one of the few things I wanted to say is that, the thing with Glenn Simpson, the founder of Fusion GPS, of course, who pleads the fifth, and, very despicable, and not just him, but that Rod Rosenstein, of course. And another thing that's interesting is that Hillary Clinton, of course, lost her security clearance, and not just her. There were 4 other people. There was Sharon Mills, of course, and there were 4 other people. I don't know who they were, but of course, I wouldn't be surprised if this was true if she said to lose her security clearance over her server issue. And the thing with Hillary is that we all know she's not fit to her narcissistical self of everything what she desires, of course, even though the whole identity politics thing of a woman to be president since Obama was the first elected president, not to get prejudiced, it's just this whole identity politics things go down the line. And this whole blue wave, as I point out, which is immature, disgusting, and everything bad about it. And if Hugan, the candidate who's running for New Jersey against the senator, to run for senator of New Jersey against Bob Menendez, of course, I would laugh my butt off if that were to happen, of course. That's all my take, and thank you for your time.
All right. Goodness gracious, man. All right, guys. 406 Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, how's it going, Tim? It's Paul from Montana. How's your day treating you?
Hey, what up, Paul? How you doing, my friend?
Hey, not too much. I just want to go over one of those steel sharpens steel type things, to where sometimes your own friends, they need some hard advice and, some tough love explaining what they're doing wrong. You know what I mean? Now, if it wasn't for the fact that I like the senator that I have, recent behavior by the Democrats, I couldn't possibly see myself vote for a Democrat right now. And the left, right now, there's a large number of them that if they don't like the answer, they just pretend that they didn't get the answer. Like example, I actually wrote down 5. First one is, you've all heard it, not my president. So I don't like the president, so I'm not accepting that answer. Then 63 flavors of ice cream. Anytime you want to change your gender, if it's a Tuesday, you're an attack helicopter. The third one, getting rid of the Electoral College because, hey, I liked the rules before, but after I lost the game, I want to change the rules. The fourth one was the Supreme Court protest. It was a fair vote. All right, but they got mad at Susan Collins before. It's here. This is a pet peeve of mine. Every state has its own senators, but you can call your senator, not other people's senator. Last year, my senator actually had to do a PSA to his home state saying 90% of the calls coming in were from out of state. So people in the state were not able to get any interaction with their own senator because people from out of state decided that they wanted to speak for people in that state. And then the most recent thing I saw was people that do not understand the Senate versus the House. The Senate, every state gets 2. And then the House is based off population. But some people are mad, especially out of California, that, hey, we have L.A. County, and we only have 2 senators, and L.A. County has more population than these 6 states combined. So anytime there's a good chunk of people on the left right now that anytime they don't hear an answer they don't like, they just stick their fingers in their ears and pretend like they didn't hear it or want to change the rules, even though they agreed to the rules before the game even started. And that's my rant.
All right, man, I hear you. Give it up for Paul with his rant. Hey, man, I've gone on a few of those rants. You know, I used to feel the same way about the not my president thing. Until I realized people were so repulsed by Trump and the coverage of Trump that they don't want any parts of him. Like, they know he's their president, they just don't respect him. Get it? Like, I get it now. You get it? Like, you know, sort of like if you had say your dad was a piece of shit. You know? He beat your mom. I don't know. Cheated on her all the time. He beat her. He never paid bills. He was an unhelpful son of a bitch. Hypothetical, of course. You might say, hey, not my dad. I don't count that son. That's how people look at Trump. Now, I'm not saying everything is earned because media coverage has been so lousy. Some things they've overblown. Some good things they've ignored. But he's also done some things, but just come on, man. I mean, that whole Charlottesville thing was horrible. That whole, these football players, get those sons of bitches off the field. The whole, hey, back in the day would have beat them up thing. A president saying that, like telling the cops, hey, if you hit their head on the thing, putting them in the car, don't be so nice, it's okay. Like, that's not, I mean, there are people who like it, you know. I like that type of talk amongst my friends. But I don't want, like, those guys, like, we could joke and say crude things every once in a while. Guys hanging out, having a couple of beers, but they don't want that out of a president. For whatever reason, people think presidents should be better. You know, weird shit, right? Like, they actually think presidents should be better people. But at first I didn't get it. I thought it was being like, what's the word for it? Like petulant? Like, dude, he's your president. What you gonna do? But I get it now. They know there's nothing they can do. They just don't accept it. People been complaining about the Electoral College for a while. I don't know how you fix that, though. I don't know how you fix that. Kavanaugh, I don't even want to talk about Kavanaugh anymore. It was failed from the get-go. The whole opposition to him was a failure from the get-go. I think if people knew that Hillary was going to run against Trump, that Hillary was going to run, I don't know what they were thinking. I guess they thought, hey, we're not going to fight too hard for Merrick Garland because we know we're going to have Hillary in there. You know, Hillary's going to get in there. Hey, Hillary, get in there. Get in there and get this thing. Get this thing done. Don't boo, vote. Don't boo, vote. Let Trump, he can't be president. It's not presidential. It's not a president. Like, they thought he couldn't win. Then I looked and I saw that, like, Merrick Garland and Brett Kavanaugh, like, ideology-wise, are like, sort of similar in a lot of ways. I'm not saying always, but I did see like a grid that had Merrick Garland on one side and it had Kavanaugh on the other. Kind of close. They were kind of close, Paul. I'm not playing, man. They were kind of close. A little closer than I expected them to be, frankly. But I get what you're saying. Like, there's a lot of animosity out there, bro. And like I said, man, some of it is real life stuff that they've seen. But you know, man, like if the media wants to depict anyone in a certain light, they can. The problem is, I think Trump took some things and ran with it, and he played into it. And I don't know if that's who he is or not, but he sure made himself look like a guy who was half of these things, at least some of these things, and that wasn't good. I mean, you know, we typically would say, hey, man, like, we don't, you know, we see people as all, you know, we see people the same. We don't want to discriminate, and we don't want to, you know, treat people badly. We don't want to be seen a certain way. And it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I remember when people were saying that hate crimes were up, I was disagreeing with them. I was like, no, man, hate crimes go up around every election. Every presidential election, hate crimes go up for whatever reason, right? I looked into it. Historically, they went up during Clinton's election. They went up during Bush's election. They went up during Obama's election. They went up during Trump's election. But with Trump, they stayed up. Get what I'm saying? Now you can say, oh, that's just anecdotal. That don't matter. But I just told you. Go look it up. Like, hate crimes are up, and it's after the election, and they're still up. And that's from something. That's from the coverage, and that's from the rhetoric. It's a combination of the two, I believe. And I don't think both sides, I don't think anybody's faultless. I don't think the left is faultless, and I don't believe the right is faultless. But I think more of the fault will lie on the right, in my opinion. Okay? And I think the media has played into it because it's been good for ticket sales. I mean, they love ticket sales on this stuff. It's been good for hits and website promotion. It's been good for viewership on cable news networks. And Lord, man, they're afraid of us on independent media, so they're gonna milk every incident they can to get as much as they could possibly get out of it. Meanwhile, the water in Flint still sucks. Meanwhile, the water in Philly still sucks. Meanwhile, we got industries going away that ain't going to ever come back, and nobody's got a real solution for it other than go drive an Uber. Those are good jobs. Those Uber jobs are good jobs. Go work at Lyft. You know, Amazon's going to open up a facility there where in your town, man, you'll be good. Right? So, like, that's the jobs that are coming. So, yeah. I don't want to be... I feel like, damn, Tim, you're so negative. Why are you so negative, Tim Black? But I feel like I'm just keeping it real with you. That's it. Just keeping it real with you. Lord, have mercy, guys. So I got an anonymous phone call, and since I'm gutsy, I'm going to take the anonymous phone call. What's up, anonymous phone caller?
Hey, my friend, this is Mike from Singapore. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Mike, how you doing, man?
Yes, I appreciate your show. Your show is great, always. And, really, you bring the issues that nobody wants to talk about it, And, for example, my friend, this Amazon announced to the workers that we give you $15 an hour soon. And then I guess there is a catch to it. They are not going to get any more, put savings, like 401ks, etc. They're taking from them. They're doing other things to them. So basically, this $15 is like $8 an hour, because physically they may give them $15, but they took a lot of other benefits from them. And Amazon conditions are very, very bad indeed, because they cannot go party or something like that. I mean, what kind of business is this? And we all are guilty. We should all cancel our accounts with Amazon and tell them until you don't improve work for your employees, we will not become member. We will go to Alibaba instead. Am I right or wrong, my friend?
You're right, man. We need to do something.
This is, but the problem in the United States is people don't have unity, my friend. People, separation. People all are separated. If we call tonight in your show, close your accounts with Amazon ASAP, people, I need to watch Amazon. The man in the Hitler, what was it? There is a name for it. The House of the Hitler, Part 3, that it shows half of the United States was under Japanese rule and half of the United States was under Hitler rule. And there was a neutral zone as well, too. So, the Man in High Castle, The Man in High Castle number 3. I have to see the show. I cannot cancel it. No, you can watch whatever you want to watch before cancel it, and bye-bye Amazon, because they treat their workers like crap. And now they want to give them $15 and take away all other benefits. And this is the shame of corporations. And once we don't have a government of people, by the people, for the people, that's end of America, my friend. Go ahead, sir.
Wow, brother. Wow. Look, man, I appreciate you calling in, man, and speaking truth to power, brother. You're right. It is a lack of unity. It's a lack of unity. It's also keeping up with, I don't know who these Joneses are. I hate the Joneses. So we got this saying in America that we got to keep up with the Joneses. The Joneses are doing so good. The Joneses have the best cars. The Joneses have all the cable channels. The Joneses have all the video games. The Joneses have all the beautiful things, all the shiny stuff. We want to keep up with the Joneses. And somebody needs to go find the Joneses and kick them out of our country, and then maybe the rest of us could care about one another and start worrying about possessions so much. The hell with the Joneses. But yeah, man, Amazon, now I don't know about that $8 an hour figure that you quoted, but I talked to someone who worked at Amazon, and they kind of gave me the scoop, and they said after the changes of no bonuses and a lot of the incentives that they would normally get are going to be stripped away, they're going to be making basically what they were making before. So it's basically not a real raise. And I think Bernie called him out on that, and I think he's like, "Oh no, it's going to be good. We're gonna do still going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be." So I will continue to cover that story. I'm very interested in keeping people up to date on that story, man. Thanks for calling from Singapore, man. I appreciate hearing from you. Thank you. I got a 343 number. 343 in the house. You're live, my friend. What's your name and what's your comment?
It's your good friend from Canada, Patrick Seguin. How are you doing today, the Bashir?
Hey, Pat, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I sent you a super chat earlier on, but this is more or less with politics and professional wrestling. I know that Vince McMahon's wife, Linda, is in the Small Business Administration for the WWE. But this is more a question about the new Saudi Arabia event next month. That's going to be happening. And there's a lot of controversy going on between the Saudi Arabians and that Washington Post reporter that killed there recently. So my question to you as a business owner, would you decide to hold an event, as I said in my super chat earlier on, would you decide to hold an event in Saudi Arabia, or would you take the money? So here's a question with ethics or greed. What do you think? What do you think about that? Do you think you should still continue on with the wrestling event, or should you cancel the wrestling event because of what happened with that reporter there that was killed in Saudi Arabia? What do you think?
Would I hold a wrestling event in Saudi Arabia?
After what happened with that the person that was killed, the Washington Post reporter, because there's a lot of people talking to Vince, telling him to not hold the event anymore, especially because of what happened with that Saudi Arabia.
Oh, now I get it. Like me, it's like it's just asking me, like me, to have like owning a very small media company. Would I do business with Saudi Arabia? I probably would do business with them. I don't know. Like for me, like what could I possibly do that they would be interested in Tim Black? But I say this. Saudi Arabia needs to help us get to the bottom of what happened. How about that? And Vince McMahon, I think he should be open to that criticism. It's not worth it if he's going to lose business on this end. So from a business standpoint, but I can't imagine, Pat, what I would do, man. Like, to even put me in that type of mindset, to like put me in that space where I got to make a decision like that. I mean, if I was Vince McMahon, I wouldn't do it unless I could get the support of the people. That's what I think.
And here's another thing to add to the top of that thing. You know, that women cannot perform in Saudi Arabia because of customs and politics, and so the women actually have their own event coming up called Evolution, which would be all women's pay-per-view, which is good for the women's movement and the feminist march and evolution of women becoming equal with men. But also, too, there are professional wrestlers within the WWE that refuse to wrestle, even men wrestlers that refuse to wrestle within the confines of Saudi Arabia because of the wars. For example, Sami Zayn, and there's another guy from the NXT, which is the group before the WWE, but the farm team. So Sami Zayn, who is a Syrian Canadian, will not wrestle in Saudi Arabia because of his beliefs in the politics and also the war in Syria. So I commend Sami Zayn for not participating in the event, and the wrestlers do have the option to opt out of the event if they don't want to participate because of their politics and their beliefs. So with that being said, you know, as a business owner myself, I would pull out and especially put it in an event where there are human rights that are actually observed in a correct way and fashion, and not the way Saudi Arabia conducts their business. So in my estimation, with your estimation, I wouldn't do business with Saudi Arabia. I'd be looking for somewhere else that has human rights, that has people joining in, even women participating in the event as well. So
yeah, I don't know what made him want to do business with Saudi Arabia to begin with. Like, was untapped market? Like, what's the deal? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, he's such a big company. Why would he risk the fallout of people being upset with people, questioning why he would do such a thing? So, like, from my perspective, dude, like I'm so small and tiny, I can't imagine like why government would want to work with me. But if you're Vince McMahon and you're the WWE, just from I'm not even talking about ethics, Pat. From a business standpoint, like he could go make that money somewhere else. Like he's going to take a hit. I think it's stupid. Bad idea.
Yeah, and I agree totally. Yeah. I understand that completely, and I understand from your perspective, and I understand it from a Canadian perspective as well. I think we're on the same light as each other, brother. You have yourself a good weekend, and keep on fighting the truth, the power, and I've been watching every single minute of your videos this week. You've been speaking bomb after bomb after bomb. Oh, and one more thing about the drug prices between Canada and the United States. I know the new NAFTA agreement and know what Trump did today was sort of good, but there is some sort of hit back, so to speak, when it comes to this, because apparently with the new NAFTA deal, it makes drugs more expensive for you guys and us as well because of the new agreement. So I think another YouTuber did a video, but I'm not going to name drop his name, but there's some sort of agreement that makes drug prices more expensive for you guys in the United States and us in Canada because of the new deal. So just look at other sources like Truth Out or Truth Big about this sort of situation, but I think the big pharma lobbyists are going to be hit with this new NAFTA deal. So anyways, I wanted to keep your outlook for keep your eye on for that, but sir, you have yourself a great weekend.
You too, Pat, man. Thanks for calling up, man. Gosh, always a catch, always a bad catch, isn't it? Goodness gracious, man. All right, I'm sorry. We got a 260 number. 260, you're live, Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Oh, it's Don Hooligan. What's up, man?
What's up, Don? How you feeling, man?
I am doing fine and dandy. I just wanted to say thank you to you. I appreciate you so much. You don't seem to get down. Like this shit weighs on me. The political climate right now, and you keep your head up, as a wise man once said. It's awesome, and your positivity helps other people. I wanted to thank you, and maybe say we need to not think life is a spectator sport. We're the stars. Anyhow, thank you, brother.
Hey, thank you, Don, man. It's good to hear from you again, man. It ain't easy, brother. I get it, you know. Part of the reason why I got I try to keep a good outlook and stay upbeat is because of you guys, you know. But I am naturally upbeat. Like, this is who I am. There are people that have worked with me in real life, and I remember a guy wrote, as I was leaving this company, and he, like, recommended me on, like, LinkedIn, and he was like, Tim is the most positive person I've ever met in my life. And this was like 10, 15 years ago, you know? And it's just always been who I am. The only bad thing is sometimes it's a little unrealistic. But, like, hey, man, sometimes I'm wrong, I'm upbeat. Sometimes I trust people I shouldn't trust. In fact, I do that often. I do that a lot. But I'm getting better at it, right? And thank you, Don, for calling, my friend. I appreciate you. 253 is in the house. You're live, Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hello, Tim. It's my first time calling into the show. How are you this evening?
I'm good. Who's this?
Laura Fielding, and
hey, Laura.
My account's Red Berets Medicare for All, so I saw all those pink hats, and I thought we could start crafting for a cause. So that's what I'm doing, is bringing creativity to the movement and basically knitting and crocheting for nurses and who are overwhelmingly for single payer and for the 99%. I feel nervous, though, especially after that last caller who was just thanking you for being such a positive person. And I had a chance to reflect during that call that I do a lot of ranting towards both sides of the aisle, and it would not hurt me to be a little bit more of a positive person. But I guess my thing that I was looking at today is just quotes, because President Trump has been on the attack for Medicare for All, and I guess what I find really frustrating is that I worked with a lot of other activists here in Washington State on initiative 1600 to try to get universal health care to the Washington state ballot. And we were just a little grassroots group, and we got 103,000 signatures with just volunteer efforts alone. But we, of course, couldn't get any media coverage per se. And I don't know. So, sorry, other people want to get through and call here, but I just would really love it if people keep staying on message, because the Democrats, because they don't want single payer either, even though Trump is saying that overwhelmingly they do. But I just wanted to read this quote from something that Trump wrote in 2000. He says, "We must have universal health care. Just imagine the improved quality of life for our society as a whole. The Canadian-style single-payer system in which all payments for medical care are made to a single agency as opposed to the large number of HMOs and insurance companies with their diverse rules, claim forms, and deductibles helps Canadians live longer and healthier than Americans." And then, of course, here in 2017, quote, "Bernie Sanders is pushing hard for a single-payer health care plan, a curse on the U.S. and its people. I told Republicans to approve health care fast or this would happen, but don't worry, I will veto because I love our country and its people." So my rant is that so many of us progressives are, as you know, and as all of your viewers no doubt know, just that we're fighting the corporate media and we're fighting corruption on both sides, and it's really frustrating to see something like that not brought into the forefront. But we all know, or if anyone that's watching this doesn't know, many Democrats almost overwhelmingly don't support it. They'll fight it tooth and nail. So that's my rant. And thanks for letting me talk so long.
No problem, sister. Thank you so much for calling up. That is a horrible
Sorry, that was
quote,
really long.
you know?
Thanks a lot.
That's a horrible quote. Gosh, man, what a bad quote. You caught up dead to rights. You got up dead to rights, sister. I appreciate you calling up. And thank you for the first time calling up, Laura. Give it up for Laura, guys. Laura, first time caller. All right. 704, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comments?
Hey, Tim, this is Will from North Carolina. How you doing?
Hey, Will, what's up, man?
Oh, not much. Yeah, I wanted to call in and just talk about the need for us all to identify and address the root cause of the issues that we all have. We have an abundance of aberrants that's really pervasive through all areas of our lives and politics, and we can often identify a root cause that will explain, many of the issues that we have. And we often have what's called identity politics, and we'll have a group of people fighting for women's rights, and we'll have another group fighting for equality for minorities, and so on and so on. And these are all very righteous causes, no doubt about that. But we often fail to identify the root cause and place all of our efforts into dealing with the root cause. So it just keeps us split up and unable to really make the type of impact that we need to make. If I may identify some root causes really quick, one of the most prominent is economics. We look at the Democratic and Republican parties in the United States, and if you're really looking, the Democrats have proven themselves to be a center-right party, and the Republicans, because the entire political spectrum has shifted right over the past several decades, the Republican Party shifted so far right that they're pretty radical at this point, and Donald Trump is a good example of that. And we have a lot of people who want to see positive change, and they're very adamant about support for the Democratic Party, and it's a huge mistake. And people want to talk about being tactful and incremental change. I'm all for incremental change. If any move in the right direction can be helpful, but why support a party that's not for you? A party that is a mirror image of, as the Democrats are, a mirror image of the Republican Party, except for when it comes to social issues. And trying to make progress on social issues can often be quite a waste of time, because when we're doing the right things economically, the social policy or the social state of affairs within a society will follow. So you're sort of, you can't legislate anti-racism or feminism. You can't legislate those things. You can't control the way people think and the way people act. If you give people a reason to, a motivation, if people are going to be able to profit from being racist, profit from not treating certain minority groups of fellow citizens appropriately, then with that motivation being there, that economic motivation, you're not going to get rid of it. And I just want to know what you think about that.
Wow. Well, look, my friend, thank you so much for the phone call. Wow. Yeah, I'm going to write down and say economics impact on identity politics. Okay, I guess that's, and I'll come back to it, my friend. 317. You're live on Freedom Friday.
Hey,
what's your name? What's your comment? Hey.
I wanted to give you a call about capitalism.
Okay, who's this?
This is Thomas Terrence. I'm in Indiana.
Hey, my friend. Go ahead, Thomas. What's going on with capitalism?
Okay, so a lot of well-meaning people are arguing that it's not that capitalism is the problem, it's that corrupt capitalism is the problem, or corporatism. The thing is, it really is capitalism as a mode of production itself. You know, capitalists want to innovate to make their commodities cheaper so they can compete. And that's all well and good, that moves society forward, but it makes the amount of profit they get per commodity decrease over time, because all the commodities are cheaper. So they have to sell a lot more commodities to make ends meet. So how do you do that? You have to open up foreign markets. That's why we have imperialism. We're not going to solve these problems of global climate change unless we abolish capitalism. We have to abolish private ownership of capital. We have to put the means of production in the hands of the workers. And that means we're not going to be able to mess around with this democratic socialism that a lot of well-meaning people want to go for. We have to go for actual straight-out socialism. That's the only way we can save humanity.
Wow, brother. Wow, brother. Look, I remember when I had John Baraka on the show, and thank you for the phone call, my friend Thomas. When I had Jamu on the show, and he said he was a radical, I was like, whoa, explain radical. And he was just like, that just means you get to the root of the problem. You don't mess around, just get to the root. And the people are so conditioned to pick around at the edges, they don't deal with the root causes and the roots solution. So Tom, it sounds like he says that the solution will be getting rid of capitalism altogether. You know what I think it is, Thomas? I think people are so conditioned to think they could be rich. You know? People just think like they just look at life and they say, I could do this one day. I could be rich. And they're so focused on that, they don't realize all of the misery and the likelihood, the slim likelihood of that actually happening for you. And then the other thing you don't realize, a lot of people do not take into account, and I'm not saying this is for all disciplines or all industries, right? But there's a certain amount of yourself that you have to give up in order to achieve that type of success. And depending on the industry that you're in, you have to give up a whole lot of yourself in order to obtain that type of money. Take my industry, for instance. In order for me to become a multimillionaire, Having the stuff I cover, I couldn't even cover. Just realistically. Realistically, for me to be successful financially, I couldn't cover half this stuff. I damn sure couldn't have callers calling in talking about the destruction of capitalism. Right? Because who's going to help fund a show? Who's going to give to a show? Who's going to support a show that's against their capital interests? It's just what it is. So the problem, I think one of our main problems is media, how things are reported and what it puts into people's brains. And the other thing I think is people who just want to be rich. They just think that's where it's at. That's all life is about, is getting rich. And as you get older, you realize there's a trade-off to be made for everything that we do. And then when you start looking around and see the misery that this pursuit of money, what it means, what it leads to, and we come to different solutions. I don't know, brother. I want to thank you, Thomas, for the phone call, though, brother. I don't know if democratic socialism is a ticket or not. I don't know if it's straight socialism. I do know that what we're doing right now ain't working. And I'm open to the conversation. I'm open to the discussion of an alternative. Okay, so thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I do. Goodness gracious, man. What are they doing? You know, Puppy's upstairs losing his puppy mind right now. That's what's going on. I don't know if you can hear that, but the puppy losing his mind. We have a Labrador mixed with a pit bull. All right, so we got a Lapit upstairs losing his little doggy mind. Playing with my youngest son Chase, who's 9, and they're having fun right above my head right now. Right above my head. And I think Chase has company, so it's 2 9-year-olds up there making that noise. One is named Santana. He is also 9, and it's those 2 and the dog doing this. They're doing donuts in the living room. Love them. Love them, love them, love them. I want to make sure, 843, did you just call or did I already bring you in? It sounds familiar. 843?
Tim?
Yes, how you doing?
Hey, this is Autumn.
Hey, Autumn, what's on your mind tonight?
I just had to laugh when you were doing your thing about the Joneses, because there used to be a bumper sticker that people had that said, I finally caught up with the Joneses, but then they refinanced. So you can never catch up with the Joneses. You know?
Yeah. I do.
Ever. But yeah, I want to echo that previous caller. Really, I mean, despite all in all your attitude, you really help me keep going, man. And you just keep, fighting and putting out content, and yeah, you make a real difference. So anyway, I just wanted to call in and say hey.
Hey, Autumn, little sis, good to see you. We'll hear from you as usual, and thank you for calling in. I tell you, like, I'm no saint, man. This stuff that gets to me, but you know what? I let it out. You guys get it, like earlier, my coffee show? I just leaned in, man. I leaned in on the coffee show and I let it all out. Because keeping it in ain't going to work for me. Like, and look, I'm encouraging all you to let it out too, because what you don't need to do is take out this frustration on everybody around you, right? So let it out. That's what Freedom Friday's for. Call up and let it out. Get it out of there. It's like gas. It's better out than in, right? Better out than in. So, you feel me? But, gosh, man. Gosh. I tell you, man. Oh, so somebody asked me, said, Tim Black, how's the smoking going? I was like, I wouldn't know. I haven't smoked in a month. Give it up for that. I wouldn't know. I got my first month under my belt. That's right. So it's good to be smoke-free, I guess, you know. I really don't know, man. Like, it's But it's good to be at this position, I guess, to stick it through. And look, anybody out there who's taking the trip with me, who's decided to give up cigarettes, just know, man, if you slip, just get back on the horse. There is also an app that I've used that I found very useful. Hey, how you doing, Kyle Lynn? There's an app I use that sends me text messages, right? That have helped me out. People. Where's it at? Okay, SF Text. Text is the name of it, right? So I found this online. SF Text. I want to make sure I give you my first message. How did I find this? God, man, I can't scroll all the way, but SF, San Francisco, right? SF. Text, TXT, all right? So they'll send you text messages to kind of keep you on track, to give you a little pick-me-ups, to give you a little bit of information, that type of thing. It's interactive. They may ask you, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? Are the urges to smoke, are they low or medium or high? And then they'll give you advice based on your answer. It's like really cool to have somebody to kind of, bounce this off of virtually, so to speak, help you get through, plow through, punch through, and keep going. So I just want to thank everybody out there for your supportive words. It's not easy. We just got to do what we got to do, right? So, all right, guys, that's it. That's all I got for tonight. I want to thank all my callers who phoned in tonight, who been a part of the show. You keep me going. 704. Okay, that's Will. Hey, Will, what's up, man? Right? Was that a new call? Is that a new Will? Or is that the same Will? Let me try this call. I hate leaving callers in the queue. 704, have you had a chance to talk yet?
Hey, Tim. It's your boy, Kush Renata from Carolina.
Hey,
you
Kush.
got two for today.
Hey, what's going on, guy?
Hey. Oh, man. It's been a hell of a week. So, man, I don't even know how to go towards this whole, that whole Kanye thing that happened at the White House. Because, it's... The thing that bugs me the most about that is the fact that if you do think about it in the terms of mental illness, and I mean, Kanye has made it very, very poignant that he has mental health issues. I mean, the dude made a song about it. I mean, what was that? There was the one, Yikes. I mean, you literally can see him basically breaking down in that song. The dude had a literal cry for help at the end of it. So, when the left, especially when you see CNN, the whole segment with Bakari Sellers and Fatemah, whatever her name is, and Lemonhead were laughing at him, making fun. It's how hypocritical can you be? You guys were giving, you mentioned it before, one of your videos, you were giving Trump all types of shit about the dude with the arm, but that's the rub, though. It's easier to go at someone when it comes to a physical disability, because you can point that shit out. You can be like, hey, he has an arm issue. Trump's going after arm issue. See the arm? See the arm? But when you're talking about mental health, just with a lot of people's perceptions, it's not very easy to point out. It's much more hidden because it's psychological, unless it's out there in the open. Kanye tends to have it hang out there from time to time. But I have friends who have mental health, issues that they have to keep in check, and they get medicated and stuff like that. And it's one of those things where, you are yourself sometimes, or the person that people know you as when you are in those episodes. So to have media take advantage of that and utilize that to try to basically make him seem like such a horrible person when obviously he's been going through stuff ever since the loss of his mom. It's like one of those things where it's just kind of like now the Republicans and people on the right can come right back at you and like, well, you talked about us for making fun of a guy with a disability. Now you've done it. So what makes you any better? The second thing, that whole situation with Saudi Arabia and that journalist, I'm wondering if the politicians are actually giving a damn because they actually care, or has the media actually stepped up? Because now, just like with a lot of other situations that happens in society, a lot of people don't really give a shit until it's their people that get affected. So now the media just saw one of their own literally get hacked into pieces, and it's like, so you guys are still going to fuck with this guy? Because that means that if you're going to let him do that to him, he was with the, Washington Post, I think it was, then that means that could happen to anybody that goes over there. CNN, MSNBC, that's probably the thought that's going through their head. So what do you think was more of the driver for this? Was this more politically pushed, or did the media finally actually grow a pair because they were scared of the fact that eventually that could end up leading to one of them getting the axe, pun included? What is your thoughts on that, Tim?
Brother, I have no idea, man. But I tell you, man, thank you, Kush, man. I was asking a similar question because I'll tell you, man, I know we don't discuss Saudi Arabia that often. Like, we didn't want to discuss them with 9/11. We didn't want to discuss them with their civil rights abuses, their human rights abuses. So I'm watching this, Kush, and I'm like, dude, what's making us be so forthcoming right now? So, man, I want to watch and see what the outcome of this is. I know they were saying they could track the journalist going into this consulate, I think it was, and he never came out. I'm wondering, do they have footage? Do they have actual proof that he was killed in that room? And I think they said they did, but did they disclose that? Like, is there footage that has been seen by others of this mutilation, of this killing? I don't really want to see it. I just want to know that it exists. Because, brother, and he must have spoke ill of the government, right? All right. So I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Terrific stuff, guys. I got some people over here commenting. Yes, the Saudi royals. Erdogan is not a good guy, says Ditzy for Life. Pork Belly says, this is a good point, says Taj Marie, in regards to the missing journalist. Don Hooligan talking about kratom. You know what? Every once in a while, Don, someone talks about kratom and the benefits, the medicinal benefits of kratom. I've had people call up to the show and they say this is such important remedy to so many people, but for some reason the word never gets out about it. So I don't know. I just know that in the history of this show, that has been that's the top 5 of remedies that has been mentioned on this show and in my comment section. It's kratom, Kratom. So we got some late people kind of jumping into the queue, and what the hell, guys? I'm gonna go ahead and answer the phone because, hey, that's what we're here for, right? So let me try this 423 number. 423, you're live, Freedom Friday.
How you doing, Tim?
I'm good. Who's this?
This is Trail Hell. Quick question. How do you feel about today's announcement of Facebook's purge of 800 accounts and pages, most of which related to political messages? If you remember, social media of all kinds removed Alex Jones from all their platforms. I didn't think they would stop there, and it seems they didn't. What's your thought on private companies censoring what we see and how to express our thoughts on social media?
Oh, man. Well, look, brother, thank you for the phone call, and good question. I hate when why we got to use Alex Jones, man? Don't use Alex Jones, man. Alex Jones, I just feel like Alex Jones, he did a lot of things intentionally that he knew he could be in hot water. He was like, hot water, come with me, hot water. I'm just going to do this shit. I don't care. Like, he really just Said, screw it. There are things I hold back on because I want to stay here, okay? But yes, brother, I did cover the censorship thing on Facebook. I didn't know the number was 800. I thought it was like 500. So I just covered that. During the coffee show, I covered it. Damn, bro. I know the Free Thought Project, the Anti-Media was another organization that was hit. Dude, of course I support freedom of speech. Of course I support the people deciding what entities, by letting the market determine what we want to read and watch. So that's how I look at it. We can go on and on about it. But as a person who uses my First Amendment every day, I wouldn't want to take that from you, and I don't want to take it from anyone else. So that's how I feel about it. So obviously, thank you, brother, for the phone call, man. Thank you for coming in and giving us your thoughts. 612, you're live on Freedom Friday. Hey.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thanks for taking my call. My name's David. I just had a quick question. This is sort of connected to the previous caller. How do you feel about the fact that there's a lot of what you consider so-called progressives that seem to be, in a way, okay with some of the censorship, and that they seem to be okay with it as long as it's against people that they disagree with politically? And do you ever see that as somewhat of almost a contradiction, considering what liberals used to stand for, and they were the most biggest defenders of freedom of speech? Do you feel like it's a way of people, in a way, sort of wanting a totalitarian government as long as it's on their side politically?
Wow, brother. Get up for that phone call, man. Get up for that phone call, man. Like when you say the liberals, like, I think maybe we're talking about not regular people, right? Like, so I think the average person, gosh, you know what? You know what? There are people that I understand what you're saying. There are people that fit into the box that you're talking about. Some of those people are corporate-sponsored media, right? Or they hope to be corporate-sponsored media. So those people, I don't put much stock in anything they say. Screw them. Go to hell, you fuckers. You guys just trying to get a job at CNN. You're not real people. You're not regular people. Because if you were regular people, you realize that regular people, they say what's on their mind. They talk a certain kind of way. Whatever's based on their upbringing, their environment, who they are socially, all those things. You guys are cookie-cutter bullshit artists. I don't trust you. I don't fuck with you. The hood don't want you. Rural areas don't want you. Nobody wants you. No one likes you. You were last picked. No one wants you. So there's those people, right? But I think generally speaking, most people would be like, hey, you don't like it? Turn the channel. You don't like it? Don't go to the website. There's a lot of racist shit on the internet. Guess what? I don't go to those websites. We can use the same same structure, the same process to avoid shit we don't like. You can, I can. All right? There are things that people do that are illegal. Kiddie porn, making bombs, torture, shit like that, okay? We got laws, Joe. We have laws, right? Let's use the laws that we have in place. The rest, the gray area, we got to have a gray area, baby. That's what makes America great. At least it used to. At least it should, all right? So, and there's a person who loves comedy. I remember people like Lenny Bruce who went to jail just to be able to say fuck. So for people like Lenny Bruce, Richard Pryor paved the way. I say what I want to say when I want to say it. Freedom of speech. Thank you, brother. 423, let's go to the next call. I got a 585 number. 585, you live, Freedom Friday.
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing, Tim? This is Vinny.
What's up, Vinny? Talk to me, man.
I just want to say I kind of disagree with all socialism and I disagree with all capitalism. I think we need a good balance of the two, and I think right now we have the wrong balance of the two. The bottom is on a socialist system, but where they barely get by, and the top's on a socialist system. The working people have no safety net. They have nothing. I think that housing and health care and food should be a human right, and then let capitalism fall from there. However hard you want to work and however more you want to get up, let you go from there. That's my 2 cents. I don't know what you feel about that, but I'd love to know how you feel about that.
Brother, I appreciate your phone call, Vinny, man. Look, Vinny. I understand what you're saying, man, and I like the fact that you said there needs to be a social safety net. Listen, man, I understand that everybody gets to where they're going to get by how hard they work, how much effort they're willing to put in, how much sacrifice they put in. Here's the problem, man. People don't start off at the same place. That's what sucks. You know? That's what sucks. We don't start off the same. So when you say, like, so there's no perfect, like, thing, you know? Because some people are going to have it worse just because of gender, race, proximity to wealth. I mean, come on, man. If you grew up in the backwoods of Alabama, you just ain't going to have as many opportunities as somebody who lives maybe, I don't know, in New York City or L.A. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So there are so many levels of it. Hell, I just did a story today of a black guy who was watching his two kids, a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old, who knows the parents. He runs a company that takes care of kids, man. And the lady saw him with the kids and called the cops because he a black guy. What are you doing with kids? What are you doing with two white kids? Like, that woman was very overt. She called the cops. But what I'm saying is that type of mindset exists in people who own businesses. It exists in people who teach classrooms. It exists in people who rent properties and give loans. Like, these people that don't understand how bad our system is, they just don't think about it realistically because it doesn't impact them. So, dude, like, I don't know what the perfect system is. I know our system is far from perfect. And even if we start saying let's give safety nets, I think we need social programs that sort of level the playing field, because I don't know how you legislate to make people better people, to give everybody a fair shot. All right, so 704, I got Kush 585. 585. Make sure I got 585. 585, you're live Freedom Friday. Oh, I did get, that's Vinny. That's Vinny, my man, Vinny. And I got another 704. No, I got 704 was Kush. Kush in the house. Okay, so I got it. I got everybody, it looks like, man. Anonymous. Is this a new anonymous call or the same anonymous call?
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man.
Just fine, man. I am not just an anonymous call. I am one of the people that follow you on Twitter. Duke CT, I just followed you and such because you seem like the most interesting dude on there and talking about stuff that has been, and not just in the political stuff, but also life in general. But my one question, a question that seems to be forgotten by most people on the left who are screeching right now. I'm like, they don't want to take that personal responsibility that the reason why they're in this position. I mean, if they really held themselves to the moral standard, where were they when President Obama pretty much took down Syria, and messed all that stuff up? Where were they when President Obama and Secretary Clinton, tag teamed and basically destroyed Libya to a point that it's basically, there's a new slave trade in there. There's a new slave trade down there. I mean, where were they? Oh, they're just quiet. They were quiet. Where is the morals and such? That's all I ask. Is a little bit of that morals certainty, and a little bit of that humility, and say, hey, you know what? We need to start calling them out. But the one times people that call them out, there's people who do call them out. Guess what happens? They get relegated, pushed to the side. Why do they? That to me just shows me the cloud that's there, and yet they keep saying, "Oh, we're gonna go do this." I'm like, you ain't gonna do nothing. You didn't call them out when they're in power. What makes you think you're gonna call people out when they're when they get in power again? That's all I gotta say, man. Keep doing your good work. All right, peace.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the phone call. I feel the frustration. I get it. I do. I talked about this in the 2016 race, man. In fact, man, brother, I made a name for myself doing that because I was one of the few people then, and a lot of other people joined in as well. I blame the media. Yeah, but look, I'm not on that Trump thing about fake news like that, though I've seen it. I've been a victim of it. But a lot of the people, like, there are good people out there, right? There are a lot of good people, bro. A lot of good people out there, sir. Problem is, if they don't have the time to dig for the information. They just don't have the time. Nobody wants a slave trade. No one wants, but if they don't talk about it, then it doesn't happen. It's not happening. If you got Rachel Maddow praising Hillary, every time Hillary goes on Rachel Maddow's show, all she does is kiss Hillary's ass. She never asks Hillary a single solitary real question. Rachel Maddow makes $7 million. Was it $7, $8, $10 million, $14 million? Some crazy amount of money. Very opulent life. Shit show. Rewarded for not being a journalist. People don't know to combat what they don't know is happening. They can't stand up to something they don't even know exists. So I think that all the women that came out to the Women's March, they would have came out for against Hillary with Libya if it would have been framed and the truth would have been out. If the truth would have been put out there, people would have came out. But if you hide the truth, if you bury the truth, then no one's aware and you can't get the people to galvanize around a common good or defeat bad. So I think media has to take a lot of responsibility. Look, like I just looked up what Trump has, there's 2 acts. One is the, on this show live, Know the Lowest Price Act. That's so that Americans can know if they're overpaying for their medicine. This is what they call a gag clause, so that the pharmacist can't even tell you, hey, you shouldn't use your insurance card for this. You'd pay less if you didn't. They can't even tell you. So Trump signed these 2 acts that make it easier for pharmacists to be able to tell you, hey, you're overpaying. That news hasn't been everywhere. Now, maybe I've been too busy doing other things, but if it wasn't for somebody in my comment section saying, Tim Black, hey, man, will you cover this? I wouldn't even know it exists, bro. So my point is, there are good people. I consider myself good people. I'm part of that. I wouldn't have talked about Trump and the lowering of these 2 acts, these two pieces of legislation he just signed, this authorized executive orders, right? I wouldn't have been able to talk about it because I didn't know it existed to even talk about it. The only reason why I'm talking about it is that someone told me about it. Now, some people could say, if I didn't talk about it, if I never was made aware of it, they'd say, oh, that sellout, that piece of garbage, that lousy Tim Black. I didn't even know about it. They don't even give you the benefit that you don't know about something. They just assume you know and said, fuck it. Well, I didn't know. So I look at people the same way. I say, you know what? There are good people out there that just don't know. I make it my job to make them know. That's it, bro. That's all. And look, and if we had more people who are willing not to make $7 million or $14 million or $10 million or $5 million, hell, $2 million, $1 million. We have more people willing to make what I make, which is, I don't know, maybe 30 grand. But you do it for the people, then maybe more people will know shit. Maybe. Then they got to be willing to listen and accept it. So anyway, guys, thank you for tuning into the show tonight. I appreciate you. I got some great callers, man. Glad you guys came through. Shout out to everybody in my chat room, all my people that monitor and moderate the chat. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you. Are special. You make it happen. Thank you for the chat room. Thank you for the people that participate in a reasonable way, right? Let's not demonize one another. Let's not talk down to one another. At one time, you didn't know what you now know. Now you know some stuff. That doesn't make you the smartest person on the earth. That makes you now responsible for what? Educating other people. See, getting knowledge doesn't make you, oh, I'm the shit. Look how smart I am. I'm smarter than everyone. Ha ha ha. No, and now it's a responsibility. Right? You now have a responsibility, smart ass, to go educate other people. And guess what you need to also learn? Humility, how to communicate, how to be a teacher. You got other stuff to learn. Got other stuff to learn, man. It don't ever stop. It never stops, yo. It never stops. So, shout out to all my people out there who are taking the voyage the journey and trying to be better people and trying to help other people along the way. It's a beautiful thing. I try to do it. I ain't an expert at it. I'm learning too. It's a work in progress. Come with me. Come with us. Come with Tim Black's Wolfpack, Team Black. Come become a member and take the journey of trying to be better people and helping others too. We can do it together. It takes more than just one or two. It takes all of us. So I support you. Thank you for your support. Now, it's a phrase we use around here called "Don't let nobody take your cornbread." And what that means is you don't let anybody take what matters to you. Now, if you're from down south, you know that the cornbread is an important staple in the diet. But you could call it whatever. Whatever matters to you. It could be, don't let nobody take your privacy. It could be, don't let nobody take your vote. It could be, don't let nobody take your loved one. Your loved one from the face of this earth because of bad water, lack of access to health care, the ability to get a good education, prison industrial complex, military industrial complex, any of those things. Don't let nobody take your cornbread, all right? So what we got to do is keep our cornbread because we have these systems in place, not just individual people that are bad people, but systems that are in place that are taking our cornbread on a daily basis, a lot of times without us even knowing it. So that's why we say don't let nobody take your cornbread. That's what that part means. Now the other part, the other saying that we say around here is sprinkle some facts on them. Now sprinkle some facts on them, it's a little bit different. You know how when you're talking to somebody, maybe it'll be a friend, maybe it'll be a family member, maybe it'll be a coworker, and politics pops up, and you want to tell them because they sound like they don't know what they're talking about, or there's something they need to know, and you want to know what's the way to address that. Well, that's when the sprinkle the facts on a method comes into play. So you don't carpet bomb them with a bunch of stuff making them feel small, and you don't try to argue with them because we realize through trial and error that a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still, meaning you can't win an argument. The best shot you got, the best shot we all got, is to give them one little piece of information that they find interesting, that may inspire them to go look up some shit on their own and convince themselves that, hey, maybe I need to learn something. So that's where Sprinkle Some Facts on Them comes in, guys. Sprinkle some facts on some people you love this weekend. Don't argue with them. Don't belittle them. Don't shame
90 seconds.
Just sprinkle some facts on them and then get out of there. Let them think about it. All right? All right. Thank you. I feel like it took me a long time to get to that. But it's been a while since I broke down those two concepts. A lot of people don't know what I mean. So I want to make sure you do. If you enjoy this show, go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live, become a member of my Wolfpack. If you want to email me, you want to email me suggestions for show topics, if you want to email me about products, if you want to put something on these cool-ass shelves behind me, if you want to give to the show, email me at tim@timblacktv.com. And I'll see you next week as we continue to roll out stuff. And but if you are a Roku user, find me on Roku. I'm on Roku at Tim Black TV. Tim Black Show, Tim Black TV is on Roku right now. Go sign up and rate the show. Give us a good rating. I love you. Have a great weekend. I'm really out of here. I made me some homemade fried rice. It's upstairs. It's the bomb. I'm going to go eat it. Stay safe. I love you. Have a good weekend. Don't hurt nobody. And
10 seconds.
Don't let nobody take your cornbread. Shout out to iTunes. Shout out to Stitcher Radio. Everybody out there who check out the podcast, audio podcast. Peace. Peace, y'all. Lay back. Pete D, Ron McMillan, Uncle Ron, Jennifer Vickers, Paul in the house, Roseanne Monterama, and we are out of here.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.